Hello everyone, this is Excalibur and I'm back in my test world for another little tutorial. Well, more or less an informational video, I guess you could say. I have in my hand the redstone comparator. It was a request that I go ahead and I use this thing in another tutorial and show people what you use it for. Well, ooh boy, here we go. Well, you've already seen me use a comparator right over here. Yep, there we go. We've got comparators sitting here to let our smelting array know that there's an item here which causes all these torches to turn off and everything and allows our smeltery to work. I did a little bit of an updated version of it with closer stuff and only 2 redstone torches instead of a bajillion of them. And I've also added a fuel station as well. So now we can get fuel evenly distributed among all these furnaces. In addition, and I don't think I have any cobble on me. Nope. In addition, this still works. There are a couple of bugs that I've found. I have to see what's going on with that. But for the most part, these all distribute items evenly down here, and all my tests and stuff like that. There's something new here. I have added ominous cave music. No, I've added an item elevator. So what happens is in this item elevator, when you have an item in here, it sends out a signal through this block to this comparator, which turns on a comparator clock. I'll show you how to make that in a little bit. And it's pretty simple. Comparator, repeater, redstone, 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 and then redstone, redstone, redstone. The reason why this works is because of the name, comparator. And you'll see this in action up here. In any case, it sends a signal all the way over here, which then sends a repeater to power this block. As you can see, it's going up one by one by one. Oh, it's going up by 2. Sometimes. Odd. Or I'm just seeing it wrong. And it goes up into this dropper, and then it finally comes up into here. And you can see that it's slowly increasing. It'll stop at 61 or whatever that was. And the clock has stopped. So that's pretty much how that works. Comparators are generally used in the most simple, where was I? Over here. The most simple way is to test if there's something in an inventory. And I filled this all up with redstone lamps. You can see that we've got these lamps all lit up. And the signal is going to be 1 less because I got the extra redstone. In any case, this lamp is not lit because that's the farthest it goes. Now, another interesting aspect is not only does it send a signal out based on an inventory having something in it, it sends that signal out based on how many items are there. And it's analog. So if we do this and we can see the lights, the lamps like that, yeah, that works. I will start throwing stuff in. That will generate a 1. Then at some point it'll generate a 2 and a 3. There we go. It's slowly going up. If you sat down and examined how many items need to be in an inventory, you would find out just what you need to light up every one of these pieces of redstone. There is a page on the wiki that shows you everything you need to know about that. And a single chest and a double chest give out different numbers of signals because there are more spaces in a double chest. So let's go ahead and break that, and we'll throw that up in there and get that all lit up. Now that's one way. This is a direct connect to an inventory, and as you can see, if you had a wall around here, so let's go ahead and grab some stone. We'll put a wall like this to make it all nice and pretty, but unfortunately, you can see through it here, and we'll just go ahead and replace this with a block. Here I'm just showing that you're pushing a signal into that block based on at least one item being in there. That's all that does. This here, now the aforementioned wall, now we can hide our comparator behind the wall, and we can put an item in here, and it still lights up. Comparators will work through one block. Now those blocks are redstone lamps and regular blocks. It does not work through glass. The new sea lanterns or any other transparent block that stops signals like glowstone, that won't work either. Here I've got a comparator clock set up like I showed you over there. If we put an item in here, we will get a flashing light. Pretty simple, pretty basic. And we'll pull that out so that the flashing stops. And in here, we set up a hopper clock, which is just one hopper pointing into another. Every like tick and a half or tick or 2 ticks or however long it takes, it'll take the item and put it here, then here, then here, then here. The comparator is used to test for when there's something in your output hopper, and it'll send out the signal. And you can see how fast it is. We put an item in here. We've got this on 4 ticks. You can see how fast that is. Now if we set that onto 1 tick, it's just going too fast for that to handle. We set it to 2 ticks. You can see it's doing something really wiggy. Slightly faster than that. 3 ticks. There's a difference. And then finally 4 ticks, you can tell that this goes faster. So let's grab that out of there and grab that out of here. We don't need them flashing. So that's pretty much the basics of comparators. Now over here I'll show you what I've done. I've got a hopper clock pointing to an inverted redstone signal. So this is going to be on by default whenever the item is in here. That'll turn off the torch, and it activates these 2 command blocks. In this command block we have weather clear as the command, so it's never going to rain ever in this world again, as long as this chunk is loaded. And then time set 6000. So if we look up, you'll see that the sun is going to tick, a tick, a tick, a tick, and go back to its normal spot over and over again. So these 2 are going to keep it daylight all the time, and while I'm here in the test area, the rain is never going to happen. Now the item elevator is pretty easy to understand. What I've done is I've taken the item elevator here. You can see it's that set up with a block, comparator, redstone, then redstone dust, then another repeater, not redstone, pushed back into a dropper. If I go ahead and I put an item up in here, you'll see that'll kick off, then that'll kick off, and that'll kick off, and it pushes it up into a hopper, which I put a crafting table in there earlier, which does that. Now we'll go ahead and come over here so that we can see what's going on. We'll throw that in there. So you see, as long as there's an item in here, that's going to kick off. Since this is powered, it will power that as well, because it's directly powered. It powers this block. So the item goes boo-doop straight up into that. This then does the same thing that does. It says, hey, there's an item in there, and it goes boo-doop, sends it right up to here, and then this does the same thing, ba-doop, straight up into the hopper, which then pushes it into the chest. Over here I've done the same thing, only I've started doing it in a spiral pattern. Now the spiral pattern is important, well, because it's going to increase the size of your thing, but what I've done is I've put hoppers here. Now this mob evader does it silently rather than this, which does it noisy. So as you can see, I've tested with 8 cobblestone, Now if we put those 8 cobblestone in here, it's going to be quiet until it hits the last item. And you're going to hear it click for each of these floors. But over here, we have 3 instead of the bajillion we have there. And it's just going to go ba-ding, ba-ding, ba-ding. Oh, I'm just putting stuff up here. If we look up here, we've got 8. So this is silent. I can probably redesign this so that it's goes out in like a pinwheel pattern, and put a chest or something down at the very bottom that dumps stuff up into it. So that is pretty much what we have there in terms of item elevators. You can have a noisy one or a silent one. This is garbage. I could have done it much better. This is an interesting thing. This has been done by Mumbo and by Zisuma and by Generic B. It can be used for a combination lock. Now, what we have here is we've got ourselves an item frame, and we've got a nice redstone torch in there. You know that if you right click, it will actually spin it around. Now it's 8 segments, and every time we move it, it's going to go a little bit farther. The last one, it doesn't reach, it's powered there, but it can't power there. If I were to put repeaters off to the sides, that would work. But the bottom is 1, and then for each one, it's one more. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Since this is 2 here, as is this, when we hit 3, that turns on, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and then that's 8 as well. That's 9. Doesn't work. This is the interesting thing about comparators here. A comparator compares a signal from its sides to the signal coming in from the back, and for that we're going to need these doodads. By the way, I just did that by taking an item and then shift double clicking a lot of the same items. So I've got something in my hands, I hold down shift and I double click, and everything of that item is going to transfer into the available inventory that you're pointing to, just so you're aware. So in this experiment, we've got a torch here. We're going to hit F3. So you see that it's a redstone torch. And right here, you see that we've got a repeater. It's got a delay of 1. And we don't really have to worry about that. But here, it shows we've got redstone wire. And it shows power. That's what we're looking for. This is power 15. So power 15 is coming in here. And I'll show you another interesting fact about comparators here now. A comparator, when it gets a signal in the back, it propagates that signal out the front. So we're going to go ahead and kill that, and we're going to kill this and put that comparator there. Now, one of the things that you have to keep in mind is the signal that's coming in the back is going to dictate what comes out the front for comparator, and then it's going to drop off from there. So we've got 15, and then we've got 15, and then it goes to 14, and if we had something there, it would be 13. So what we're going to do is that, and we're going to test. That's going to be 12. Now what's going to happen is when we put items in here, it's going to generate a signal based on the number of items, and what we're looking for is a signal of 15 or higher. And I'm actually going to grab a lever and do this. Let's see if that works instead. Oh yeah, we're going to put it here. Is that 15? Yes, because we can turn that on and off and then show the test. So we're going to turn this off. So this is going to be a signal of 0, and this is going to be a signal of 12. We've already got 64 redstone lamps in there, so we're going to go ahead and put in enough items Yeah, that turns that on. So we're going to go Oh, we can put it right there. Yeah. So we're going to keep pushing stuff in until we see that thing come on. Normally that would go on when you had one item in there showing there was something in the inventory. But I think we can go there and then 8, 12, 14, 15, 16, 32. All right. Ah, there we go. At which point does it turn on? It looks like it's looking for a signal of 15. So that gets a signal of 15 to turn on. Let's break that and bring everything back. And we're going to test with just one. Yep. So we need to see what that signal is here coming out. That is a power of 1. That is a power of 15. So it's still okay. Yeah, there we go. Still higher than 12. Still higher than 12. There's something odd going on here because I didn't have that. I am a Dorcas sometimes. There we go. That is a signal strength of 12. So we have a 12 and a 12. If we take out more items, and I know that we need to go down to 14. See what that power is. That is 11. That is 11. Oh, okay, so that's an 11. I thought it was a 12. There we go. Let's see how many we have to put in. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay. So we need 18, 19 stacks, and then 19 items, and that'll turn on. If we turn this on, that's going to be powered on because of the switch. So we can do this instead. There we go. Now we got a power of 15 here. And you can see that when we turn it off, it'll turn on because we've got enough to handle the 12. But we have to go for a full inventory to get that to go. Now, one of the interesting things about this is it's got subtraction mode. Well, what is subtraction mode? What it does is it takes whatever signal's coming out of here and subtracts a signal coming in on the side. So 15 minus 15 is 0. If we turn this off, you'll see that that turns on. And we have a power 4 in here. So 15 minus 11 is 4. So that's what subtraction mode does. It does, instead of, it does a comparison, but it subtracts any current coming in from the sides from current coming in from the back, and then produces a signal of the appropriate length. And that's pretty much all I know about comparators. They can be used in a lot of things. They can be used like repeaters, and propagating signal. A repeater, which I already have in my inventory, repeater will take a signal and it will renew that signal. So if we look here, that's a power 9, that's a power 15. But a comparator, as I said, just propagates a signal along. So if you wanted a power 9 all the time, you just sit there and do this until you got to where you wanted to go to a power 8, like that. So you could keep that at power 9 for a long time. and they are very much a lot like repeaters, insofar as they carry a current through them without degrading the current, but repeaters will renew currents. Problem with creative mode. So there you have it. That's pretty much all I know about comparators and what they can do. As I said, I will probably do a nice item elevator tutorial with the pinwheel that I'm talking about, and we'll be able to transfer things up. And all it is a dropper pushing up into a hopper, which pushes off to the left in this case, and then pushes up and pushes to the left. You can do it the opposite way. Doesn't really matter. But what I should have done here is had the bottom one go out this way, and this one go out this way, this one go out this way, and then we're up a ways, and we can do the repeat this over here going this way. And it ends up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 10 by 10 area, but it's a very silent, very quick item elevator. Well, this has been Excalibur. I hope you enjoyed my little tutorial here. See how things work. I'm going to test this doodad behind me because I think it would be a lot better to use than using all those redstone torches, and makes things a little bit easier for me on survival worlds where I can do both the fuel and the smeltable items at the same time. And as you can see, you can easily hide everything behind the wall. If I go ahead and whoop, there we go. I'm not used to traveling in F5. I'm sorry. If we use some more hoppers, we can actually take this chest over here and make it a double, and then repeat this pattern, repeat this smeltery over on the other side in a mirrored fashion, and we could have that double smeltery furnace array that I have already. So until next time, this is Excalibur. Enjoy playing games, enjoy playing Minecraft. I am out.